You start strong. You're motivated. You're committed. And then a week later, you quit. You've tried diets, workout plans, business ideas, side hustles, learning new skills, and you quit all of them. You can't stick to anything. And you're starting to believe there's something wrong with you. There's not. The problem isn't you. It's your approach. Today, I'm going to tell you exactly why you can't stick to anything and give you the precise formula to fix it. If you're tired of starting strong and quitting weak, hit that subscribe button right now, because what I'm about to share will finally help you finish what you start. Here's what's really happening. You're not failing because you lack willpower. You're failing because you're violating fundamental psychological principles of behavior change. You're trying to force consistency through motivation alone. You're making changes that are too big, too fast, with no system to support them. And then you blame yourself when it doesn't work. But it's not your fault. Nobody taught you how to actually create lasting change. Today, I'm giving you 7 reasons why you can't stick to anything and the exact solutions to fix each one. Stay with me, because this is the difference between another failed attempt and finally building something that lasts. Reason 1. You're starting too big. You don't fail because your goal is too small. You fail because your starting point is too big. Every time you start something, you go all in. I'm going to work out 2 hours a day. I'm going to completely overhaul my diet. I'm going to wake up at 4 a.m. and be a completely different person. You're trying to go from 0 to 100 instantly. And that approach guarantees failure. Why? Because massive changes require massive willpower. And willpower is a limited resource that depletes throughout the day. For the first few days, you can maintain that intensity through motivation. But motivation fades. And when motivation fades, you're left trying to force massive changes with depleted willpower. You can't sustain it. You crash. You quit. And you think, I'm just not disciplined enough. But that's not true. You're plenty disciplined. You're just starting too big. The secret to sticking to anything is starting so small that you can't fail. So small it's almost embarrassing. 1 push-up. 1 page. 1 minute. You're not trying to transform overnight. You're trying to build a foundation of consistency. Once the behavior becomes automatic, once you've proven to yourself that you can show up, then you can scale it up. But you have to start small. Whatever you want to stick to, make it ridiculously small. Don't work out for an hour. Do 1 push-up. Don't read for 30 minutes. Read 1 page. Don't meditate for 20 minutes. Take 3 deep breaths. Make it so small you can't say no. Do that tiny version every single day for 30 days. Build the consistency first. Worry about intensity later. Small and consistent beats big and sporadic every time. Reason 2. You're relying on motivation instead of systems. Motivation gets you started. Systems keep you going. You can't stick to anything because you have no system. You start when you're motivated, excited, inspired. And as long as that motivation lasts, you keep going. But motivation is an emotion, and emotions are temporary. When motivation fades, and it always fades, you stop. Because you never built a system to carry you through the unmotivated days. You've been relying on feelings instead of structure. A system is the process that runs whether you're motivated or not. It's automatic. It's scheduled. It's non-negotiable. Every morning at 6 a.m., I work out for 20 minutes, no matter how I feel. That's a system. It doesn't require motivation because it's not based on feelings. It's based on commitment to a process. When you have a system, you don't ask yourself, do I feel like doing this? You just do it, because that's what the system says. Winners don't rely on motivation. They build systems that make the behavior automatic. They remove the decision-making. They remove the reliance on willpower. They make consistency the path of least resistance. And that's why they stick to things. Not because they're more motivated, but because they have better systems. Stop relying on motivation. Build a system. Define exactly when, where, and how you'll do the behavior. Every day, at time, at location, I will behave for duration. Write it down. 1, 1, 1, and 8. Schedule it. Treat it like a non-negotiable appointment. Remove the decision. Remove the reliance on feelings. Follow the system. That's how you stick to anything. Reason 3. You have no accountability. Private commitments die in silence. Public commitments survive through accountability. You made a promise to yourself, but you didn't tell anyone else. So when you quit, nobody knows. There are no consequences. No one is disappointed. No one is watching. It's easy to quit when it's just you. You can rationalize it. You can make excuses. You can let yourself off the hook. And you do. Every single time. Because there's no external pressure to keep going. But when you create accountability, when you tell someone what you're doing, when you make a public commitment, when you have someone checking in on you, everything changes. Now quitting has consequences. Now someone will know. Now you'll have to explain why you gave up. And that social pressure keeps you going when internal motivation dies. It's not about needing someone to baby you. It's about creating external structure to support internal commitment. Successful people don't keep their goals private. They create accountability. They tell people. They join communities. They hire coaches. They post publicly. They create consequences for quitting, and those consequences keep them going when willpower fades. Accountability is the difference between I'll try and I will. Create accountability today. Tell someone you trust what you're committing to. Better yet, make a public commitment. Post it on social media. Join a community pursuing the same goal. Find an accountability partner. Check in weekly. Report your progress. Create consequences for not following through. Make quitting uncomfortable. Make continuing the easier path. That's how you stick to anything. Reason 4. You're not tracking your progress. What gets measured gets managed. What gets tracked gets done. You can't stick to anything because you can't see your progress. You're working. You're showing up. But you're not tracking anything. So when you look at yourself, you don't see any change. You can't quantify improvement. You don't have evidence of progress. And without visible progress, you lose motivation. You think, this isn't working. I'm not getting anywhere. Why bother? And you quit. Not because you weren't making progress, but because you couldn't see the progress you were making. Progress is often invisible to the naked eye. You're getting stronger, but you don't feel it yet. You're building skills, but you're still in the awkward phase. You're creating momentum, but you haven't reached the tipping point. Without tracking, you miss all that invisible progress, and missing it makes you feel like you're failing when you're actually succeeding. The progress is there, you're just not measuring it. Winners track everything. They document their journey. They measure their inputs and outputs. They take photos. They keep logs. They journal. And when they feel discouraged, they look back at their data and see proof that they're improving. That proof keeps them going. That evidence reinforces their commitment. Tracking makes progress visible. And visible progress creates consistency. Start tracking today. Get a journal, a spreadsheet, an app, whatever works for you. Track the behavior you're trying to stick to. Every day, mark whether you did it or not. Just a check mark. That's it. Track your streak. Track your total. Track any measurable improvements. Review your progress weekly. See the evidence. Celebrate the wins. Tracking creates visibility. Visibility creates motivation. Motivation creates consistency. Track it or lose it. Reason 5. You're seeking perfection instead of consistency. Perfectionism is why you quit. You miss one day and think you failed, so you give up completely. You start strong. Perfect execution for a few days. Then you miss one day. You eat one unhealthy meal. You skip one workout. You don't hit your target one time. And instead of getting back on track, you think, I already ruined it. What's the point? And you quit. Not because you failed, but because you weren't perfect. And you've convinced yourself that anything less than perfect is worthless. This all or nothing thinking destroys more progress than anything else. You're so focused on maintaining perfection that one imperfect day becomes an excuse to quit completely. But perfection is impossible. Everyone misses days. Everyone has setbacks. Everyone falls short sometimes. The difference is, successful people get back on track. They don't let one miss become 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. They embrace imperfect consistency over perfect inconsistency. You need to understand. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is persistence. Missing one day doesn't erase your progress. Only quitting does. One bad meal doesn't ruin your diet. Giving up completely does. One skipped workout doesn't destroy your fitness. Stopping altogether does. The only real failure is not getting back up. Adopt the never miss twice rule. If you miss one day, that's fine. Life happens. But you cannot miss 2 days in a row. Missing once is a mistake. Missing twice is the beginning of a new habit, the habit of quitting. If you miss today, tomorrow is mandatory. No excuses. No negotiations. Get back on track immediately. Build the comeback muscle. That's more important than never falling off track. Reason 6. Your environment is working against you. Your environment is stronger than your willpower. If your environment doesn't support the behavior, you won't stick to it. You're trying to use willpower to overcome a terrible environment. You want to eat healthy, but your house is full of junk food. You want to be productive, but your workspace is full of distractions. You want to wake up early, but your bedroom is designed for comfort. Your environment is sabotaging every goal you have. And willpower alone can't overcome a bad environment. Environment beats willpower every time. It's easier to avoid temptation than resist it. It's easier to make the right choice automatic than force it through discipline. When your environment is designed correctly, the behavior you want becomes the path of least resistance. When it's designed poorly, you're fighting an uphill battle every single day. Eventually, you lose. Not because you're weak, but because your environment is stronger than you are. Winners design their environment for success. They remove temptations. They eliminate distractions. They make the right choice easy and the wrong choice hard. They set themselves up to win before they even start. They don't rely on willpower. They engineer their environment to make willpower unnecessary. That's how they stick to things. They don't fight their environment. They design it. Redesign your environment today. If you want to work out consistently, put your gym clothes out the night before. If you want to eat healthy, remove junk food from your house. If you want to be productive, eliminate distractions from your workspace. If you want to read more, put books everywhere. Make the behavior you want easy. Make the behavior you don't want hard. Engineer your environment. That's how you stick to anything. Reason 7. You don't have a strong enough why. When your why is weak, quitting is easy. When your why is strong, quitting becomes impossible. You're starting for surface level reasons. I want to look good. I want to make money. It sounds interesting. Those reasons might get you started, but they won't keep you going. Because when things get hard, and they will, surface level reasons aren't strong enough. You need a deep why. A reason that's so emotionally powerful that quitting isn't an option. A reason that pulls you forward even when motivation dies. Winners have a why that makes quitting impossible. They're not working out to look good. They're working out because their kids need a healthy parent. They're not building a business for money, they're building it for freedom and legacy. Their why is connected to something bigger than themselves. It's connected to their core values. It's connected to their identity. And when the why is that strong, temporary discomfort can't compete. If you can quit, your why isn't strong enough. If you can walk away without major regret, your why isn't deep enough. And until you find that deep why, the one that makes you emotional, the one that makes quitting more painful than continuing, you'll keep quitting. Because you need a why that's stronger than the discomfort. Find your deep why. Write down your goal. Now ask, why? Answer it. Then ask, why? Again. Keep asking until you get to the emotional core. I want to lose weight. Why? To be healthy. Why? So I can be there for my kids. Why does that matter? Because I grew up without a parent, and I refuse to do that to them. There it is. That's your real why. Write it down. Read it every day. Let it pull you forward when willpower fails. You now know the 7 reasons you can't stick to anything and exactly how to fix each one. Which reason is holding you back most? Drop a comment. Reason number is why I quit, but I'm fixing it with solution. Let's build consistency together. Let me leave you with this. You're not broken. You're not weak. You're not lacking discipline. You've just been using the wrong approach. You've been starting too big, relying on motivation, avoiding accountability, not tracking progress, seeking perfection, fighting your environment, and operating with a weak why. And that approach guarantees failure. But now you know better. One. Start small, build systems, create accountability, track progress, embrace imperfection. Design your environment. Find your deep why. Do these 7 things, and sticking to anything becomes automatic. You won't need motivation. You won't need willpower. You'll have structure. You'll have process. You'll have systems that carry you through. This is your moment. This is where you stop being someone who quits and start being someone who finishes. This is where you stop blaming yourself and start fixing your approach. This is where you finally stick to something and prove to yourself that you can finish what you start. The person who sticks to things isn't more talented than you. They're not more disciplined. They just have better systems. And now, so do you. Use them. Implement them. Stick to them. And finally become someone who finishes what they start. If this video showed you why you've been failing and how to finally succeed, share it. Like it. Subscribe. And let's build a community of people who stick to things. No more quitting. No more false starts. Just consistent action leading to real results. Let's finish strong together. Now go. Fix your approach. Stick to something. And prove to yourself that you can.